All right, perfect. I'm live here, live on the Urban Landlord here. I wanted to ask you guys a question. There was a big winner and loser in the draft last night. I would say probably the biggest winner was, I guess you'd have to say Cam Ward. He went number one overall. But then I guess that lady that was uh, the that caught the eye of Shannon Sharpe was also a big winner there. I thought about it. I was just thinking, I said, and I did a stream about it. You may see it up on the stream. Shannon Sharpe offered her $10 million before he even went to court. And I got to thinking about that, and I said, damn. Guys, let me know if my volume's up good here. I'm on OBS this morning. And I got to thinking about it, like, damn, people talk all the time about it, how it's so hard to find investment uh, funding in the black community and things like that. And I was just thinking, like, damn, Shannon Sharpe was willing to pass off $10 million of his, hard-earned money that I assume that he earned it by playing football or building his podcast business up. And so it's very interesting to see how he was willing to give away, and I think he has children, and so he was willing to give away his children's fortune, yeah, $10 million of it at least, uh, to some woman because of his sexual escapades. And it's just one of those things that people talk all the time about building wealth, generating wealth, but you have to maintain it and keep it as well. And if your behavior is bad, like Shannon Sharpe's behavior apparently has been a little bit out of line there, you know, it becomes harder and harder to keep your wealth. A couple of things that I saw interesting about, from last night. I saw Shannon Sharpe was streaming, and I'll see if I can share my screen with you here. And so here's one of the statements, or the statement that he mentioned, that he released. And I want to tell you here, he has a Democrat lawyer, which is very interesting. His lawyer is Lanny Davis. And for those of you that are familiar with Bill Clinton, you will know that his lawyer is Lanny Davis here. And here is Shannon Sharpe's statement. He said, "My statement is found here, and this is the truth." It's just rather odd, like a screenshot of a statement, as opposed to releasing a statement. There's all rather interesting here, where these guys clearly are not very sophisticated in the matter of like communications and things like that. And he may have been walked right into a honeypot here, where a lady seemingly is able to was able to record him and get some damaging information about him or uh, recordings of him, and it may be very hard for him to combat it. I mean, clearly he's offered $10 million, which is rather weird there to offer the money kind of in the public like that. And then he's demanding that the tapes be released, all of the tapes, and they're not going to release the tapes. Why would they release their leverage over him? Uh, just him acknowledging that there are tapes really kind of puts him in a bind there, pickle. And one of the things that I find interesting is, he's been having a problem with his sexuality. Is that fair? Everyone would probably say, yeah, that's fair. And so one of the things is, so since he's having this issue with his sexuality, he seemingly has been going to the other extreme in terms of having sex with women, maybe to even prove it out or prove it to himself. And I think that has gotten him in more of a situation there when people were just assuming he was gay and no one was forcing his hand on it. Not a big deal. But with the Michelle lady, that's the sex tape he released where he supposedly went live on Instagram by mistake. And with this video here, well, with this paraphrasing here, and the situation that he's found himself in, it's just not that smart of a guy, and he may be trying to prove something to himself and to others. I've never had conversations with women like that, and so I found it very weird that he would be having conversations with women like that. But hey, people have their kinks here. The next thing, let me see if I can pull up the chat. By the way, I'm in a new computer here, new computer, kind of a new setup here. Never. I don't think I'm going live from this computer yet. Maybe once or twice. Let me see. Let's see who's in the audience here. Streamlabs chat. Okay, what's up? What's up, MFB? My mic is low, bro. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying my best to get all it seems from one computer to the next, the things I don't know what the hell is going on. But either way it goes. And the other big loser last night was Deion Sanders. I think Deion Sanders and his son, to be quite honest with you, both big losers. Uh, and I want to play you this clip from Deion. Let me see if I can find it. I put it on the other clip that I put out this morning. Deion Sanders, what does he look for in a QB? Two-parent household, right? Two-parent household is what he talked about in an interview. He said, "Hey, when I need a quarterback, I want a quarterback from a two-parent household." And I think a lot of times people get confused about the value of a two-parent household. It's not the end all be all. And here's Deion Sanders on two-parent households here. I'm going to pull that up. One of the videos here. Let's see. So here's Deion saying that he prefers two-parent households. No single mamas for him. He prefers those players be on the defensive line here. So here's Deion, and I think there's a video of him playing it. I think I'll go to another. It's probably on YouTube somewhere where he's definitely playing. See here, let's see. Yeah, let's see. TikTok. No, let's see. See, yeah, here it is. And so one of the things about looking for a two-parent household, as an example of someone from a two-parent household, you're assuming that that is the highly correlated variable there that's going to make or break the player, and oftentimes it's not. I mean, we saw that with Carmelo Anthony as well, and here's someone else. I don't know what's taking this tweet so long, but anyway, so Dion clearly is on record for wanting a two-parent household. He even said that he would like that the quarterback come from a coach's family, which his son did. He was saying, "Hey, I want a quarterback, ideally that would be coached by his father." Well, Dion did that. But I think along the way, Dion wanted his son to be more than a quarterback than his quarterback had the ability to be a quarterback. And let's see if we can get to this clip.
There's one reason for
I'm sure it's here.
Talk about this too long. I'm gonna just talk briefly and let it go. We talking about Shador. We ain't talking about nobody else. But his last name wasn't Sanders. We wouldn't have this discussion. The only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders.
Well, you're right about that, Dion. The only reason we're having this discussion is because his last name is Sanders. Because if his last name wasn't Sanders, he wouldn't be getting his fucking jersey retired immediately. Now, would he? Coach's kid. Coach's kid. That's what's happening here. Let's be real about it. Now, look, I'm not saying the young man isn't an outstanding player. I'm not saying he didn't have outstanding accomplishments. And yes, Dion, I'm sure every jersey you've ever worn in your life is retired somewhere because you're arguably the greatest cornerback in the history of the NFL. You're on the very short.
Here's the thing. Deion Sanders seemingly tarnished his son to the point where no one would want to be around him. The guy, he showed up last night. Let's see how we can show how he was dressed last night. He showed up, kind of looking like a clown. He went out and bought big trunk jewelry there. And you have to ask yourself, as an NFL coach or an executive of any type of organization, is that the type of person that you want in your office here? And here's some of the Shador Sanders. And here's him after the draft last night.
I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we on the bigger.
He said this shouldn't have happened. Why shouldn't it have happened? Can you explain to me why it should not have happened? I don't think I don't think they understand yet the situation that they've created for themselves. They've made themselves radioactive. Like, look at that big charm, the pendant, the big gold chains. He's now going to be a second-round player. That jewelry, the lifestyle he's lived, is not conducive with being a second, third round backup quarterback. He's lived too high, too fine of a life to now be second fiddle. He's probably never been a backup at the quarterback position. And he's saying that this shit never should have happened.
Of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Ooh.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but
He didn't expect it. I did. I mean, and for the blacks that are blaming racism, I mean, the first pick in the draft was a black guy there, some guy from Miami. And I don't even think he was better than Shadur, to be quite honest with you. I think that he's probably just easier to deal with. And people say, I'd just rather deal with him than Shadur there. There's a couple more clips. This is his locker room. This is the shrine that he built himself. You can see this here. Legendary. Legendary. Give me 1 second, guys. So this is the shrine that Shadur built himself. I guess he had a hat for every team there. And he, man, could you imagine? You're expecting the quarterback to come in, be, focus on the team, selling out for the team, the leader. And here he is. He's built a shrine to himself in big gold chains. This is not quarterback material here. Give me 1 second. And so Shadur, I think his father tarnished him. I said last night, he would have been much better off had he distanced himself from his father. I think his father would have done him a service to send him to a school where he could be better trained as a quarterback. But he didn't do that. I think for Sanders, phone ringing all the time. We got Universal calling. What's up, Universal?
What's going on, John? Man, what's up?
Oh man, I wanted to talk to you about this draft last night.
Draft? Oh man, it didn't go the way I thought for Shadur, man, but I'm not surprised.
It went the way I thought for
He's been
Shadur.
projected to go like third round for the last couple of months. Honestly,
it actually went the way I thought it would. Universal, you're live by the way.
You did?
Universal, yeah, you're live by the way. Can you hear me?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
you weren't
Salute
live
to
when
the
I
chat.
called you, but then when you called me, give me 1 second. Let me
you
make
know
a
what?
call.
Let me just hop up. I'll just
Oh
hop
no,
up.
I'm on
I'll hop up for a
OBS.
little bit.
I'm on OBS today.
Oh, okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Give me 1 second, Universal. 1 second. And make a cup of coffee here. Universal, I would say the big losers from last night was Shannon Sharpe and Shadur Sanders. I don't know in which order I would put them in. But Shannon Sharpe, man, I mean, he must really be embarrassed having offered that woman $10 million. And you know where I'm going with this. Or you may not know where I'm going with this, but black people talk all the time about economics, this, that, and the other, right? And I bet you if Shannon Sharpe's daughter went to him and said, "Hey, can I borrow $1 million to start up a business?" He said, "Get the fuck out of here," right? $50,000, he probably say no. But
you can live off my name. Shit like that.
But due to his sexual proclivities, he was willing to sign away $10 million. $10 million.
Yes.
Man, that will turn someone's life around, bro. $10 million.
Absolutely.
Right? And here he was willing to give it up to an Instagram model, bro. Like, like these people are so fucking dumb, right? That it really doesn't matter how much money they make. They'll give it back, right? Like, they won't even do this for their families, right? And that's what I found so amazing, Universal. More so than anything, bro.
No.
Like, damn.
Absolutely, man.
10 milli, bro. 10 milli.
Yeah. Now he's gonna cough up more. Man, listen, man.
And he's lost his job,
you
right?
always say, Joe. Well, yeah. So he's out at ESPN, but he's not. I don't think he's finished. But you know what's gonna happen, John? He's got to come back down to the chilling circuit.
I hear the blacks aren't wanting him back though because of the amount of money, and yeah, he's been on, he's been gone from for a long time now. He's been away from the black community like Stanley.
All he got to do is pop up with one of the chosen black women. He'll be okay.
Yeah,
He has to do what Majors did. He went out and got Megan Good. He's back.
Do you think that
Michael B. Jordan, same thing.
Do you think that he'll have an offer on the table for a sister for $10 million?
It depends on what evidence she has on him.
I mean, the thing is now, like, the sisters really got, he put a big price tag on a white woman, man. $10 million, right? Just the risk that he was willing to engage in that, and then the price that he was willing to pay. Jesus Christ, $10 million.
Yeah.
Man, I can imagine that having children willing to give it over to someone because I was just desperate to sleep with her. That's fucking weird, bro. That's real weird, bro. It really shows you, like, it's something wrong, man. The chasing after women is, clearly it is destroyed.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's really destroyed his career, tarnished his career. And I keep going back to Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd hasn't had these problems. He's worked there right alongside Shannon Sharpe and all these other guys. And someone said maybe Lori Harvey. Maybe you can go get her Lori. A used up has been there. You get her.
Nah, see, if he's smart, he's got to get an older black woman. He can't go that young again. That's part of the narrative right now, is that she's too young. He's got to get him a 40 plus.
A 40 plus, huh? Do you remember what Shannon Sharpe said about Donald Trump?
No.
Oh, man. Let me see if I have that shit. Oh, he went in. And he went in on all the other NFL owners that donate money to Donald Trump's campaign. And you think about it, like, here he is willing to pay more than all the owners donated to Trump's campaign.
Right.
And what did he get out of it, bro? Like, it's just
embarrassment.
He got embarrassment out of it. Let me see if I can find this clip. You probably heard RG3 and all these other guys criticizing the draft, the NFL owners for not drafting.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'll speak on that in a sec. I got some thoughts on that.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
So I've seen the racial narrative played out. They don't want a black man, blah blah blah. But the other losers. So you said there was 2 losers. I think there's 3.
Who's the third?
Cam Ward lost. Cam Ward.
You think so? Well, yeah, because he didn't get any shine.
He went number 1 pick, and nobody gives a fuck. He's a dark skin, and he got dreads. He talk about stereotypical. He's more stereotypical than Shador. Still went number 1.
No press at all. No press.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Here's just
so it ain't about race, people.
No, it ain't.
Not about race.
And
Shador, no.
Yeah, and you definitely make a good point, because all last night there was very little talk of Cam Ward, and he just got drafted number 1, right? Like, is this?
Yeah. What? Maybe 10 years. He might be the 3rd.
Oh shit! So it's been that
but
many.
Even if it's not, well, number 1, I think Cam Newton might have been the last.
Cam Newton was the first one, right? He was the first one, right? Was he the first one?
Let me look. But if you think of just top 5 quarterback picks, then it's different, because you got Trey Lance and a whole bunch of other dudes.
Was Deshaun Watson the number
Kyler
1?
Murray.
Was
Deshaun Watson?
Was he a number 1? He was a number 1, wasn't
he? Yeah. Yeah.
Jameis Winston was a number 1, wasn't
he? Jameis. No, did Jameis go number 1?
I don't know if he did. I think that nigga went number 1. Did he go number 1?
I think Jameis did go number 1, actually. And even with that, I mean, look at all the shit he went through in college. He still got drafted number 1.
Mr. Crabland himself.
Yeah, and he stole the laptops. Salute to the laptops.
Mr. Crabland. He wasn't shipping no laptop. He was just stealing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, someone said my lag is getting bad here. I may have to end the stream. Man, I've been dealing with this shit, fucking with this shit for so long. I don't know what the deal is. Let me let you hear Shannon Sharpe.
Him on the Access Hollywood talking about grabbing hoo-ha. That did not shock the very conscience Of 7 NFL owners, skipping light millisecond to name those guys. One, Daniel Snyder, the guys on your monitor. Jerry Jones, Mr. Bob Kraft, McNair, Houston Texans. Woody Johnson, Shad Khan. They gave $1 million for the inauguration of President Trump.
Man, can you believe this nigga? And now he about to give up
That
10.
idolatry, man.
And now he about to give up 10.
He's gonna give up more. More.
And
She passed on the 10. Yeah.
So you had something else you want to add here at Universe? Because I want to get to Dion, kind of do a little deep dive on Dion for a minute.
No, I think Shannon is gonna be on the Chitlin circuit for quite some time. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, the one thing about Shannon last night, we were covering the draft and we were watching his footage. I think the thing that you can say about him is that he did build his own platform where he YouTube, but but short of that, I think he's he did build his own platform. So there was that ESPN can fire him, but he can do his own thing.
He can survive.
Right, yeah.
Right, he can survive.
Right. Now with Dion, man. Oh, Dion was an interesting one. Let's go back a little bit. Do you remember when Dion hired an offensive coordinator from Kent State? It was the head coach of Kent State, and the guy took a backwards position.
A leave, right?
Right. And he said, "I'll go work with Dion," figuring that Dion's brings some talent. It's a step up in level of play, and it didn't work. Did you notice that?
Didn't work out.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
And I think that and I said this last night. I think Dion should have let his son go play with that guy, as opposed to forcing that guy to come coach with him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Dion was just too big of a presence, and no one could effectively coach his son. And he ended up. I think Dion more or less lived through his son by chasing accolades and things like that, maintaining relevance. And I think he harmed the boy.
I agree, and I think Shador and Shiloh, they wanted to live up to that prime lifestyle like their father. And what we're noticing is that shit is not going to work no more.
He had rare talent,
especially in this climate. Yeah, I mean, Shador is a good quarterback. He's not bad. He can't get it. He's not fast, but that's okay. We see slow quarterbacks all the time. He can't get the ball deep down the field, but deep enough. And then today's NFL, that's fine, right? Because you get a lot of dink and dunks and slots and all that type of stuff. It's the flashiness and what his dad may bring that I don't think a lot of NFL teams want to deal with. And you know this, John. If you draft a quarterback first round, they got to start.
At some
He's
point,
a big question mark as a starter. Yeah.
Well, can he be a backup? That's a better question.
I would say with the persona.
Sit on the bench and be a backup when you're already rich. And he's never been in that role before.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That persona's not going to allow it, man.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he can be a backup. Has he ever been a backup in his life?
No, he's always been coached by his dad all the way from elementary all the way to college.
And so now he's going to
he had that 1 year at Hampton. And then he went to Jackson State afterwards.
I think I think a backup quarterback in the NFL is really meant to be like the starting quarterback's friend, his confidant, see what he doesn't see. It really requires, a Robin to the Batman. Would you say that's fair? And I don't see Robin in Shador. That nigga ain't no Robin in that nigga.
No.
And
I don't even see Batman in Shador. That nigga has to be the only superhero.
And I think, his father, as I say, I'm repeating here, I think he should have, if he had sent the boy off to a coach that had good offensive, acumen, could have taught him some of the fundamentals. I was reading about Shador last night, and they were saying that, progression problems, going up the ladder, stepping up in the pocket, things like that. And that's something that you're probably not going to learn in the pros. You're probably not going to learn it. They're going to expect you to know it. I was reading about some guy, Ewers or something. I think he's from Texas. And they say, he's accurate, precise. I think it was him, precise with the ball. But they mentioned that he was very good under center, 3, 5, 7-step drop.
Yes. Yep.
They didn't mention any of those fundamental type skills with Shador, right?
Yep.
He had the arm talent, I guess, to go out and play. But they never really built an established offense around him. No running, just throwing the ball. Is that right?
That is correct. There's another element too, but I'll add it in a second.
And so I think that they just never built up a complete football player. And so when I hear Deion says, "Hey, I want to have a quarterback from a 2-parent household," well, his son was from a 2-parent household, but there was still something missing, to make that quarterback. But go ahead, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, I think Deion is, in his whole plan to be a college quarterback, he has the gift and the curse of being prime because of NIL. Yeah. He can draw in the brands, he can draw in the players, he can pay those checks.
Yeah.
But this new NCAA, these guys are not staged, so you can't build a team. So there's always going to be another college with a bigger bag to help swap these guys out. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason why Shador went late, but that is a factor here. I think it's more the flashiness than anything.
I don't know if you can see what's on the screen here, but this is Shador's. I guess he built out like a little studio for him to celebrate the draft. And so
Jesus.
He had all the hats. He brands himself as legendary. The big gold chains and things like that, man. I can't see many NFL teams wanting to bring him in as your starting quarterback. I just can't see it.
It's just too much. When New York passed on him, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, man.
So the better question is,
he might not even go second round. To be honest, John, don't be surprised if he let them, because Quinn Ewers, a lot of people are projecting him ahead of Shador. And I don't think Jackson Dart is a good quarterback, and for him to go second, the second quarterback to go, I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised?
Because I don't think he's a good quarterback.
I was reading about him last night, and I thought that he would go before Shador. I said that last night. He'll go before Shador.
Yeah. I thought Quinn Ewers is better than Dart.
I think I can't remember what it was. And maybe it was the accuracy or something like that.
He's got fundamentals.
I think in the NFL today, fundamentals matter more than anything at the quarterback position because you have to win so fast. Someone says he's already legendary. Amazing, yeah, he's already legendary. And again,
maybe not for the right things though.
I was reading a criticism of Shador, and I'm gonna see if I can find it, bro. Like, I wouldn't want anyone saying that about me. And they was basically saying they don't think he can be coached. He can handle the proper discipline. They say they don't think he can handle proper discipline from a coach and stuff like that. And if you can't make him a starter, why the hell would you even want him as a backup? If he brings these negative qualities, you really have to ask yourself that. Like, he's still gonna be the same guy with all those negative traits. So would you want him as your, so here, I want you to listen to this. Tell me what you think. I've played this before. I want you to hear it on Universal.
This happened, for no reason. We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is, of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened.
We all know this shouldn't have happened.
And you should have said that part. It was good until then. And Shador's usually pretty good with the interviews. I think he speaks well. He knows how to talk like an NFL quarterback, or just like a starter. It's about the team, yada yada. God, listen to my coach, but it was his dad. It's like.
Here's RG3. Again, I think the blacks don't see it, bro. I really think they don't see why
No,
he's
no.
not
The
wanted.
Yo, what's up,
idolatry.
everybody?
The
I'm watching the
idolatry.
draft just like the
It's
rest of y'all.
RG3.
And, I see Shadur Sanders
All
is
right.
falling in the draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't draft him at number 21, so a lot of people wondering where he's gonna go, what's gonna happen. And like, listen, man, all it takes is one team to like you.
All that hope. All that hope.
But almost all the teams drafted.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Last night I was talking to Linwood, and of course Linwood brought the racial angle into
Oh
it,
Lord,
right?
of course.
And so I said to Linwood, I said, this is like more or less the NFL saying that he doesn't have value that they're willing to pay for, right? Like,
Correct.
if you think he's good, clearly he's not good enough for them. And, it very well could be more than his playing ability, bro. I just think I wouldn't want to deal with somebody like this, personally, where I had to depend on him.
He's too much of a distraction.
Look at this. I mean, I know you may not be looking at the screen. I mean, he had this big legendary goal, chain yourself as the legend before you even stepped on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't done nothing yet. Yeah.
The dollar signs are all over the place in his little studio there. And so I'm just sitting here thinking, like, damn, like, money is going to be a big issue to you. You already have a lot of money. You've come from a lot of money. What else motivates you? I don't know if being a good quarterback motivates him. And
Yeah.
And
as a GM, you have to think about that. What's going to keep this guy here? What's going to make him a staple of the community that we represent for this team? That rookie contract is smaller than the NIL deal that he received.
Yeah.
How does he get to that second level to the contract?
Yeah, does he just sit around
There's
frustrated?
a lot of factors here. Yeah, this ain't just about race. We're so one-dimensional thinking. Our frequency is so low. If it was about race, Cam Ward wouldn't have got picked number one.
And we keep, and that's one thing. Did RG3 go number one overall too? I can't remember if he did.
Yes.
He did.
Oh,
God
by the way,
damn.
John, I did pull it up. So the last three number one picks were black quarterbacks.
Wait a minute, the
Cam
last
Ward last night.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And
Caleb Williams.
he went number one too?
Else.
Yeesh.
Yeah, last year.
Yeesh.
Bryce Young, 2023.
Oof. He went number one.
Then
wait a minute, he went number one overall. Bryce Young.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Then the next one after that would have been 2019 Kyler Murray.
Wow.
2015 Jameis Winston. 2011 Cam Newton. 2007, we can't forget about this one. Jamarcus Russell.
Wait a minute. No, he didn't. He went number one too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Remember he got that. Jameis Winston was the first quarterback that accelerated that number one pick bag. He got that big bag.
Shit.
And that's what tipped the scales. Yeah.
Bro, as you say this, bro, like a black number one quarterback is almost like, you can't do
A
it.
death sentence for a team.
You can't do it. Right? Like
Before James, but don't forget who kicked off the trend though.
who?
2001, Michael Vick.
Oh, he was number one too. Jesus. No. Bro, that's a terrible string of number one picks, bro. That's a terrible string. You got
I love Michael Vick, man. Michael Vick changed my childhood, man.
Bro, you got criminals, lazy niggas. Two of them niggas went to prison. 2 of them went to prison. Did Jamarcus Russell go to prison?
Homosexuals. Yes. Homosexuals, biracial midgets, crab stealers, laptop theft.
Oh my God.
Shit, this might be a documentary, John.
Might be a stream. Fail
black first.
Fail first. Fail first. First failures.
Shit.
Hey, they wanted the black quarterback. They got him. The crab-leg man and all. Right?
Man, we just be running into this stuff. This is crazy. I didn't realize this string until I started reading it.
Man, I want to read you. I'm gonna see if I can find this. I really want to read you a critique of Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And I'm more or less phrase it, but bro, it was bad, bro. It was bad. Sanders' slide will add fuel to the fire. I don't think he will add any fuel to his fire. So here's someone says weak arm and lack of athleticism. Him being rich already, yeah. But damn, where's this criticism in him? Damn, I gotta find this. But bro, like,
I think another thing that messed up Shedeur is he should have showed up to the draft. He shouldn't have did that thing by himself. Like that's all showboating and shit. And like I'm telling you, man, GMs the time of the flash and daff, that shit's done. That DEI shit is over, man.
man, I gotta read you.
People want well-rounded people, man. Go ahead.
I gotta read you this shit right here, Universal. Just seen this 5 minutes tweeted. Think about how Shedeur cannot benefit from his dad being Deion Sanders, but Jackson Dart can benefit from his coaches being Patriots assistants. God damn, these people are stupid as hell.
Yes.
Oh man, these people are stupid as hell.
What I did say, I don't think Jackson Dart is the greatest quarterback, but he's got the connections.
He's been coached by Patriot assistants, right? I mean, I don't know who his coaches were, but I'm assuming these were probably some of the people there with Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah, he was down there with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss.
Oh, Lane Kiffin was an offensive guy.
Yeah. And so Lane Kiffin, his dad is what's his dad's first name? The legendary defensive coach. What's his dad's name?
Let me listen. Let me read you something. Here's oh damn. Okay. Looks like I reconnected. Okay. Meanwhile, Joe Judge, who was Daboll's predecessor in New York, was also his Patriots staff mate. So this boy has real serious connections to the NFL, not by way of his father, but by way of well-known coaches here. Totally different. Situation here.
Now, if black folks want to make a case here, you can say this is sports level nepotism.
Yeah.
We take care of our own. Charlie Weiss Jr., Monty Kiffin's son, Lane Kiffin. Jackson Dart played at Ole Miss. That's Lane Kiffin's school.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll comes from what tree?
What tree is he? Belichick.
Brian Belichick.
Yeah. Oh,
Belichick. Yeah. He came from New England to New York. This is the same thing that happened with Daniel Jones, who was the quarterback who got drafted. Remember, they were like, "Why are they taking this guy?" Because his agent knows the GM for the Giants. That's why they took him at number 5 that year.
I wondered aloud.
So again, blacks don't have network. We don't have networks. We don't.
Well,
See, we can have clout, Shedeur Sanders, but without that network, if you don't build that network, you'll go third round.
Well, I think he needed a network to better teach him.
Yes.
Who he knows might not necessarily matter. It's about someone getting him pro ready.
Yes.
Deion could get Shiloh pro ready, but not Shedeur. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But
John, you know who Shiloh was working with a little over a year ago.
He was working with Tom Brady, wasn't he?
Tom Brady, yes.
And when the Raiders passed on him, I said, "Uh-oh, this could get ugly."
Yep.
Because Tom Brady would know.
Yep.
Tom Brady would know.
Yep.
Do you remember that little segment that Brady had with Shedeur? You remember that? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh,
no, I don't remember.
Shit. I got to show it to you.
A segment.
It was a little clip.
Were they outside? Were they on the field?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. I remember
And
now.
so, was it a McCullen? Oh, yeah. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Again, Brady probably had some influence over this boy not being drafted. And he says, Tom Brady, Deion Sanders joke, Shedeur doesn't need a Rolls Royce car after a win. And they were outside there. And Deion Sanders said to Tom, Tom, do you think a college kid needs a Phantom? And see, here he is again. He's trying to talk to his son through Tom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tom says, well, Shador said, Dad, it's not a Phantom. It's a Rolls Royce Cullinan. And Brady says, I think he needs to get his butt in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible. Dion, speaking through Tom to his son, says, thank you, Tom. Brady goes on to say, less time in the car and more time in the film room. That right there, that interaction with Brady likely had a role in Dion's.
Put the dirt on the casket.
Right. Yeah, you know.
Put the dirt on the casket,
like,
right?
I don't want no part of that, man. I don't want no part of that. You know, this boy ain't about winning. And I need somebody who's going to be committed to winning. And that one interaction with him, he was like, nah, I'll pass. I'll pass. And
one thing that I think we have to understand is these GMs, their jobs are being saved by selling jerseys.
That is true.
And what has happened over the last 10 years with players becoming brands, that doesn't matter. GMs have to build systems and bring in championships. Look at the Vikings. We had some 4th and 5th round quarterbacks pretty much over the last couple of years, but we're winning. We don't have flash and dash quarterbacks because we're gonna sell jerseys regardless.
Yeah,
but you gotta win it.
Listen to this, Universal. This is the what someone wrote about Shador Sanders. Reports from insiders paint a damning picture. He wilts under hard coaching, demanding, coddling, and resisting the discipline process NFL coaches require. His on-field deficiencies are equally alarming, lacking the accuracy and arm strength needed for an elite quarterback. Sanders relies solely on speed and athleticism. These traits, while dazzling in college, will not translate against NFL defenses that feast on one-dimensional signal callers, sloppy mechanics, erratic decision-making, inability to handle adversity, spells disaster at the pro level. He barely had a winning record at Colorado. Teams would be wise to consider him for a position switch, perhaps running back or wide receiver, where his athletic gifts might shine without the mental and technical demands of quarterback. Wow.
He's not even that fast to be a running back.
Oof.
He's not that big either.
Yeah, he's not. Well, it looks like he has some
pretty
height
much
to
what
him.
they're saying is he does have height, but you don't want a tall running back.
Yeah, you don't want a tall running back.
If a running back's over 6 foot, he better be fast as shit or strong like Derrick Henry.
And even then, you're gonna take a lot of pounding, bro. You're gonna take a lot of pounding. There's a lot of body exposed there.
Yep.
But if that is true, if they think that he doesn't have the mental and technical demands of a quarterback, and furthermore that he cannot be coached with sloppy mechanics, he's undraftable, bro.
He might not go to the 4th round. Don't be surprised, John. He might not go to the 4th or 5th round, man. And like I said, I think he's still a good quarterback. I do.
Do you think if he goes in the 4th or 5th round, he shows up with a frown on his face? He doesn't want to be there at that pay rate, right?
If he goes 4th or 5th round, he might as well just keep rapping.
Is he a rapper?
I'm dead ass serious.
You serious?
Yeah. He just I'm dead ass serious. You can go to his YouTube page. He might as well keep rapping.
Well, if that is the case, was he ever really this good? Maybe you are overcompensating for the things you saw, and you didn't see all of his plays, I would assume. Maybe he's not as good as you think. Maybe he's not as good as you think he was. That's possible.
It is possible. And I'll be honest with you, I watched all the Colorado games that first season. This past season, I probably caught maybe 6. I was on the hype train. I was rooting for him.
Oh, you?
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, this is some interesting shit. Let's see where this goes. And it went straight down the toilet, man.
I'm gonna give you some old years ago. Dion was on NFL Network, and
I remember.
And he said they asked him about becoming an NFL coach, and he said, "I'm not willing to do the grind, right? offensive coach, coordinator, whatever, do that for a few years, move your family around, and then finally become a head coach. He was like, if I'm going to do it, I got to become a head coach immediately. I'm not willing to work my way up. And from that point on, I figured that if he did become a coach in the NFL, the the coaches would feast on him. And I think that's kind of the same thing that happened to him in college. He didn't win a lot of games, um, and, and it was that he didn't want to build anything. He just wanted to walk right in the door with his academic or his athletic prowess, and felt like that should be enough. And his personality. And you can't just build with the personality. You know what I mean? And I think he realized that, but it's probably a little bit too late for his son. Now that he's bringing in, um, other coaches. I think he brought in like Warren Sapp and other people, but it probably was a little too late for his son.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to build a complete team. Go ahead.
What he needs to do. I don't know if he's trying to do it. He needs to start building a system. He can get the attention, which is good, but if you don't build a system and a network, it's not going to work. Especially at a school at the size of a Colorado, they don't have that massive bag, but they have that weed money in Colorado.
I forgot about the weed money.
Yeah, so you can. I mean, you're going to get good boosters. You're going to get good boosters, but you got to build a team, and you can't lose.
Yeah, I think it's over for Dion in Colorado, to be honest with you. I think, the shine is off. The thrill is gone, as they say. He doesn't want to, build a team. I think it was fun while he had his son there. And I can't begrudge him for that. But now that, they're gone. He's an empty nester.
They shot their load too quick, man. That's what happened. Like, it was too big, too fast. And it probably would have been better if it slowed up. But just remember, John, ESPN brought game day there.
Yeah.
They didn't even have an undefeated record. They weren't even ranked. They just were getting so much attention, and it was just too much. But I want to mention something you just said. Talked about the coaches turning on them. That's already happened twice, John. Remember, when he was back at Jackson State, those other HBCU coaches didn't fuck with DI. They didn't. There's a lot of clips of them talking real bad and sideways about him.
Oh, really?
And when he came to the yeah, it's online. And then when he came to not that they weren't in the Big 12 yet, they were in they were in the Pac-12. Those coaches didn't like him either. And then when the transitions happened to the Big 12, there were coaches saying stuff again.
Yeah.
So he's not in the good old boys club. So he's gonna have to beat them with the dollars and the brands.
And I don't think he'll be able to do that. You mentioned that Shannon Sharpe will have to go back to the Chitlin circuit here, and and here's Plies more or less agreeing with you.
And this real quick, this ain't gonna take too much time. I just want to get on here real quick and throw this out there. And if you anybody that's dealing with me, then I'm speaking, goddamn it, directly to. I am no longer helping no motherfucking body fix motherfucking problems that I didn't motherfucking create. You heard exactly what I said. I am no longer helping people fix motherfucking problems that I did not help them motherfucking create. If you created it on your motherfucking own, then you gonna fix it on your motherfucking own. If we created it together, then we'll motherfucking fix it together. But I am no longer helping nobody fix no motherfucking problems that they create on their motherfucking own. I don't want to give a goddamn what child support talking about. That's you and motherfucking child support. The problems that I create for my motherfucking stuff.
This nigga keep repeating himself, but he basically saying Shannon Sharpe is snowbitten. He got frostbite.
Oh, he got the pink toe virus.
He said he's frostbitten there, and he, but again, this is it seems like the blacks are kind of done with Shannon Sharpe there. I wonder will it affect his podcast?
Yes, his numbers are gonna dip for a little bit. John, all he has to do is pop up with Tracy Ellis Ross at the BET Awards or the NAACP Image Awards, and he's back.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't think he's. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. It ain't gonna be the same, but he ain't done.
no, I don't think he's done. I think that he's gonna have a hard way getting back from this because of some of the things that were said. If people read those text messages, damn, it's kind of hard to allow, to hear a white woman talking to a black man like that, and him talking to himself like that. When you gonna
Yeah,
put
a 19-year-old too.
this big black baby gravy in me? Like, she called it baby gravy. So it's very interesting. Since I have you up here, Universal, I always have to play something that's right down your alley here. Let me pull it up. And here she is being given $10 million, offered $10 million, almost basically unsolicited.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Yeah. Really amazing. And I think this really goes to why there's so little black wealth in the black community. Because
black men and our dicks have been a problem for a long time.
a very
Think
long
about the
time.
old adage. Think about the old adage of we got a Johnson family on this side of town and a Johnson family on that side of town.
Hey,
Grandpa was a Rolling Stone.
University, I'm gonna start up a Streamlab, and we can continue this conversation. I really want to get it going. A lot of people are complaining about the lag. If you have a few minutes, I don't have.
All right, I got a couple minutes. I'm about to hit the. Because I'm about to go to the barbershop.
All right, yeah, I don't have a long time.
With you.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for joining. Make sure you support the stream here. We have a new goal for a portable power pack, so we can do some outside street interviews at different places other than the normal place. I hope you join us on the other stream. We're about to join it. We're about to start it up now. We go for about an hour or two. Again, thank you for joining. Sorry for the lag. I got to work.